Hello there fellow humans and welcome to this video, and today I wanted to quickly correct a wrong that someone has dug up about this vehicle. Now obviously you all know the controversy from a few years ago where someone at Wargaming decided it's a good idea to put a very questionable symbol at the back of this vehicle. Now first of all, obviously the Löwe never existed, so if you put a symbol on this tank, that is Wargaming is doing. That's not historically accurate. That doesn't have anything to do with historical accuracy whatsoever, because in a historically accurate game, this tank would not exist. And with that said, if that's not convincing enough, let's take a very quick look at what that symbol actually means. As you can see, this symbol right here, which by the way is two hand grenades crossed together. Let's now find out what Wargaming thought is a good idea to put on the Löwe. We have a division. The unit participated in the mass murder of civilians and other war crimes in German-occupied Eastern Europe. You can see why putting the symbol on the tank was a bad idea, don't you? Is there any more explanation needed? No? Good. So, with that said, let's now get back into the game itself. And now, obviously, there are so many good things to criticize Wargaming on, like, for example, selling smasher crates. Like, I don't know, selling bad premium tanks for overpriced money. Like, selling crates in general. Like, being very greedy with making new bundles by not really trying to improve the matchmaking or gameplay experience too much. That's all very, very valid points. But stuff like this, of just pointlessly lashing out at Wargaming for nothing, I don't really understand that. I mean, sure, I hate Wargaming as much as the next one, yes. However, at that point in time, Wargaming has done the right thing with not putting that symbol on the Löwe. It is the right move to do. It doesn't have anything to do with cancel culture or anything. It's just the right thing to do. And honestly, I think I'm quite disappointed in that they even came up with the idea in the first place. But the thing is here, they learned from it. They did learn from it, hopefully. They haven't done that since, as far as I know. So I do hope that it was a good lesson for them, and it should be. Because, you know, one thing that something that doesn't have a Nazi symbol on it doesn't need is an extra Nazi symbol that doesn't belong there. And it shouldn't be there. It should never be there. Especially because this is a tank game. And look, there's a smasher. This tank game isn't about historical accuracy at all. It's about making money. And yeah, if you're making money, you don't want to piss off people. And well, Nazis tend to be a very big downturn for most sane people. So I wouldn't really put that on anything if I were Wargaming, and you know, that's a good idea. That's good that they're not doing that anymore, that they removed it, you know, that they realized that they've made a mistake. I hope they do realize that mistake with the crates as well. However, obviously with the crates they are making a lot of profit. With the symbol they didn't, so it is a lot easier to remove a minor problem like that symbol than it is to remove a massive problem like, for example, the crates. So yeah, but still, you gotta give it to Wargaming. They did a good job there at removing it. And if you want more historical accuracy, well, why be mad at them for doing the right thing? Why not try to maybe encourage them to simply copy and paste the info that World Tanks PC has? Like, for example, in World Tanks PC, every tank has a slight little text to it, to where it's from, where it got developed, all those kind of things. You know, it does have that. That's a nice little historic touch there, but in the end it's a game. And that doesn't have anything to do with, you know, Nazi symbols. Those don't belong in the tank game. They have no place in it, where even kids are playing. And especially they don't belong anywhere where they're unexplained. Because that's not how history works. If you want to preserve history, if you want to, well, remember history, you should learn from history, not just display random signals and symbols of evil, which is what that symbol is. You know? It's 2 fucking hand grenades. That is a symbol of evil. Okay? That just is. Even if it wouldn't be associated with Nazis, it already would be anyway. So, to support something like that is quite appalling, I'd say. I mean, the team quality in Blitz is as well, but I mean, that's another problem. But that problem can't be solved, I'm telling you that much. But that's the thing, you know, why would you hate Wargaming for doing the right thing? Why would you needlessly bash them for you know, for doing the right thing? There's no point in that. And another thing is, obviously, history is history. You can't change what happened. You shouldn't be proud of what happened, because most nations fucked up a lot of things. And there is not much to be proud of. At all. And the one thing that should be done is to learn from it. You know, to learn from it, to learn from mistakes, like Wargaming did learn from that mistake of putting that, you know, that symbol on the tank. That doesn't belong there. It does not belong there at all. Symbols like that don't belong in a fucking tank game that children play, you know? Because you don't learn about history with unexplained symbols on a tank. You don't learn about history with statues anyway. You learn about history with actual history, about reading up in history books. What good, well-done documentaries, stuff like that. That's how you learn about history, and if you want to do that, you can find good, credible sources, right? There is a great many options out there. There's no point for having something like that in a tank game, because a tank game is for fun. It's not for education, you know? It's made for fun. And, you know, and some people, here's another thing, some people won't understand what the symbol means, because it's there, you know? The symbol is there, and it's not explained at all. And people aren't going to understand it. They're going to maybe even use it somewhere. They're going to look it up. They're going to use it. They're going to read into it. They're going to follow it. And they're going to eventually go down a very, very bad path. That is very much possible in today's world. Yeah, I mean, people believe the Earth is flat. Everything's fucking possible. So, with that said, Wargaming, I think, and everyone, I'd say, has the obligation and has to think about what they're doing and has to try to do better than what they used to do. You know, there's no reason to be like stuck in the past with stuff like this. Just learn from it. And I do hope that people do learn from this as well. That, you know, seeing bad things where there aren't is a bad thing, because even though you make valid points, even though people do make valid points, when you mix them with simple, well, lies and misinformation, it ends up as a very, very dangerous cocktail, because at one point you could simply extract the actual facts from the misinformation and only leave the misinformation. And at that point, you're going down a very deep rabbit hole. And since people are actively also buying the STG, you know, a lot of people are very, very susceptible to influence like that. And I do hope you do make your research. I do hope you do look up what is true and what isn't, and try to look at different sources, you know, because if you only look at always one source, it is very likely that is going to be a biased opinion, that is going to be a even wrong opinion. So I do urge you to do the right thing, to look at things objectively, to not simply get an opinion first and then look for facts to support it. Simply look at everything you can find and then try to draw a conclusion from it. I know it sometimes is hard, but with enough work you can do it, and it's the same in the game as well. With enough work, with enough determination, with enough thinking, you can get a better player. You know, if you analyze your replays, what did I do wrong? What can I improve here? You know, for example, when you die, don't just think, I died, I had a bad team. Be like, the team wasn't great. How could I have improved that game with the same team? You know, how could I have positioned myself better to get more damage? That's the same with history. Just learn from it. There's no reason to be proud of it. There is a reason to be proud of the progress that has been made from the dark ages of, I don't know, rotisserieing people. So, yeah, that's that about, right? So, just use your brain, because that is how we can maybe solve this entire shithole of humanity, I suppose. I think I went a bit on, yeah. We went from an emblem to all of humanity, but that's really how it goes. You know, if you do a little thing that's really bad, it can spiral out of control quite quickly. And in the game, look at the game. There is plenty of clans that have like that are named after SS divisions and shit like that, or players that are after Nazis. It's there, you know. Those things are there, but they shouldn't be. So for Wargaming to remove something like that is wonderful. Like, you don't need historical accuracy to make an amazing camouflage. Look at the Scorpion's camo. It's not historically accurate, but it looks amazing. You know? It looks way better than the Lurvers, in my opinion. Fuck the historical accuracy. Fuck that. Learn from the history and do better. And cancer culture is shit as well. Let's put that there as well. Just saying. But yeah, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, inform yourself. Think about what's happening. Don't just run after the first opinion you hear, because that's eventually gonna end badly. And try to draw a reasonable conclusion, which is what I'm doing here as well. So yeah, symbol is bad. Removing it is absolutely the right decision. And complaining about that is, in my eyes, a very pathetic move. And yeah, what do you think about it? Put it in the comments if you agree, if you disagree. And be respectful. And yeah, keep it together. And with that, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.